gotta do it hella big, had to run it back again, get light it up. Represent, had to do it hella big, had to run it back again, yeah. Light it. Light it.
The triple option is presented by
Light it.
All right, we are live. Welcome to the triple option presented by Wendy's. As always, thanks for joining us.
Let's go.
If you can rate and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Find us at social media, 3X Option Show. New episodes coming your way every Wednesday, so we got a fresh one coming tomorrow. You can get it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And again, we're going to be reacting every Tuesday night after the college football playoff rankings. That's why the three of us, Rob Stone, Mark Ingram II, Urban Meyer, are here with you live. All right, time now for Any Given Saturday. We want to talk the playoff rankings that just came out, the fourth installment. Before we get to it, remember last weekend, Oregon had that rank test at home. They passed it by taking care of USC. Notre Dame dropped a 70 burger on Syracuse. Is that enough to get them and maintain them in the playoff picture? Utah barely kept their season alive with a scrappy win over Kansas State. Pitt might have dealt a death knell to Georgia Tech. And, of course, the chaos that is Lane Kiffin and Oxford, Mississippi. We're going to talk Lane in just a moment. Quick reminder about what the playoff format is. 12 teams make the playoffs. 5 highest-ranked conference champions get that automatic bid, with the next 7 highest-ranked teams filling out the field. And again, the 4 highest-ranked seeds, regardless of conference and regardless of their conference champion, they get a bye. Let's get right to the rankings right now, guys. And we're only looking at 1 through 12, but it's a couple programs just below this that are really intriguing for me. Number 15 is Michigan, up 3 spots, sitting at 9-2. So they move up to 15. How much value would they get in a victory over Ohio State Saturday? Should they pull it off?
They'd be in.
You think they would be in? Because that doesn't
Sitting at
guarantee
15,
them
I
a
think.
Big Ten conference championship game berth.
It doesn't. But I think with them being at 15, I don't know. If they beat
So the cut
Ohio
line
State,
is 10. The cut line is 10 right now as you
is.
look at the top 12 right now. So again, Alabama for the second straight week, sitting there at number 10. They are effectively, if you will, the last ranked team in because of what the group of 6 is right now. And Miami sitting there at number 12, holding on to a spot because they are the highest ranked ACC team, but still unlikely to go to the ACC championship game. So let's start with Michigan at number 15. That's some work to do now, Mark.
yeah, they do have work to do. But
it's number
I think
1
they
and
put
it's unbeaten. And that's worthy of at least 3, 4, maybe 5 spots.
That's what I'm saying. They put them there with the idea They put you in 15 with the idea if you beat Ohio State, you're going to jump 5 teams. I don't know. There's going to be some stuff that happens this week, too. There's going to be some fluctuation in this bracket. But the Miami sitting there at 12, they're not going to make the ACC championship more than likely. Because if Virginia, they clinch with a win over Virginia Tech. SMU clinches the ACC championship with a berth over Cal. And for Miami to win, they need losses by at least 2 teams from the SMU, Duke, UVA grouping. So it's a long shot for Miami to make it, and the highest ranking conference champ goes. So what would that do to Miami? That would bump them out, Stoner?
They've got Pitt this week, so they need to put a whooping on Pitt like Notre Dame did to Pitt. Because again, the committee talks about eye test, right, and also head-to-head and similar opponents, right? So we just saw what Notre Dame did to Pitt a couple weekends ago. And now it is Miami's turn to take on Pitt.
Also, Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. So.
Correct. And we're going to see how much value that has because obviously there's Notre Dame sitting there at number 9 with 2 good losses, right? 2 good losses to good teams, Miami and Texas A&M. Yeah. As far as the rest of the movement that you're looking at here in the top 12, Oregon, they move up just 1 spot courtesy of that home-ranked win over USC. So Oregon and Ole Miss flip-flop. The Ducks at 6, Ole Miss down to 7, and then 1 through 5 remains the same. Coach, you look at let's throw the bracket right now real quick just so we know what these potential matchups are looking like right now. And you see Tulane up there as the number 12 seed as your group of 6 team right now. Currently Tulane ranked 24th for the second straight week. And again, there's Miami sitting there holding on to a spot for now. And again, the cut line is Alabama at 10. So, Coach, not a whole lot of moving and shaking. I think the Michigan move was a big one. Utah and BYU still lurking. BYU remains at 11. Utah goes down 1 to 13 as the Big 12 tries to get more than one team into the college football playoffs.
You wonder, I talked to some people, in confidence who have been on I'm not going to use their names, who've been on the committees, and you wonder how much it goes into, matchups where they start like moving a team here and a team there. Why would you move Oregon ahead of Ole Miss? Because I guess the USC win, but, did Ole Miss deserve to go down? And I keep looking at that darn Miami. They keep listing Miami, but they're not even going to play in that championship game. So you just wonder the maneuvering and the Wolverines going up to 15. Is that the Big Ten trying to maneuver something? Because right now they got 3. They're 3 and out. And, SEC might get 5 in there. So, I just wonder if it's just strictly what they think the best teams in the country are they doing in order, or are they trying to maneuver and saying, okay, let's give this team a chance? And I don't know. I think their job is to just get the best in order. Yeah. I've told you for many, many times this year, when I was first exposed to the 4-4-2-2-1-1, where the committee really all they do is seed. They're not picking who's going in. That's all play-in. I'm a big fan for that. I'm going to go on record saying that if there's a way somehow that each conference just sends their guys to the conference, to the playoff, they determine that, not people, but players determine it.
Yeah. But also here, Stoner, what's intriguing to me is Bama sitting at 10.
Yeah.
You win.
They have
in
Auburn.
The conference championship game. What happens if you lose the conference championship game to A&M?
That's not supposed to punish you, but
it's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to. I don't think it will. I think that would set a really dangerous precedent. But then that would be an Alabama team with 3 losses, and now you're grouping them with all these other 3-loss teams, and then there's a slew of 2-loss quality teams like Miami right now, like BYU could be a 2-loss team if they fall in the conference championship
They're
game.
setting a whole bunch of dangerous precedents right now, though, because Notre Dame is ranked ahead of Miami. Now, do I think Notre Dame is the better football team?
Yes.
I do.
So
I remember
maybe that's the answer to Coach's point.
I remember Alabama was held out of the 4-team playoff because of a head-to-head loss to Texas. So head-to-head clearly is a crucial criteria for them. So I think maybe that's why they have Miami still right there, but they're not going to be in their ACC championship game. So if they don't make the ACC championship game, barring some chaotic stuff happening this weekend, how do they stay in the playoff picture?
I don't think they do. I think a Michigan with the win over Ohio State And we're going to talk about that tomorrow on the triple option. I think they jump. They easily jump Miami. You know, the other question was Oregon, and Coach, you kind of touched on it. You know, they just move up one. You know, there was some thought, some belief that maybe they could have gone 2 spots, right, and leapfrog Texas Tech as well. Does that one feel right, just giving them a 1-spot boost for you?
Yeah, it feels right. You can't bump Texas Tech the way they played all year.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Once again, I look at this. The one intriguing is and I just wrote down the conferences and who's going to go. The one that's really the Wolverines jumping up there, because I agree with Mark. They win, they'll be the best one of the year of anybody. They win this one. They won't make the Big Ten championship, or will they? I can't remember that. I don't think
won't.
they are. They're not.
They have the possibility, but they have to win again. Oregon is above them in the pecking order. Indiana
Oregon
has
have to
Purdue
lose.
on Friday.
But I agree with Mark. Wolverines win, they're in.
Yeah.
And they're gonna
Ohio
bump
State
whatever
clinches
else.
Big Ten championship berth with win over Michigan. Oregon clinches Big Ten championship berth with win over Washington. Ohio State loses.
Oh, okay.
Michigan clinches Big Ten championship berth with win over Ohio State and at least one loss by either Indiana at Purdue or Oregon at Washington. So they need a bunch of help.
Yeah.
Oregon's
again,
at Washington.
Yes.
Correct.
That's a legit game.
Correct.
It
That
is.
is a legit rivalry game.
Yeah.
And yes, and by the way, they should probably be rewarded for that beyond just like getting to the Big Ten championship game. That is a quality.
This is a
win.
great question right here, Stoner. You see this right here?
Is this the year where Group of 5 shouldn't be an automatic bid?
This is what I'm talking about. I'm like, where does Group of 5 just automatically get a bid? Like, I understand, but you're the 24th ranked team. How do you automatically get in?
Yeah, Tulane, second straight week, sitting at number 24. They've got Charlotte this week, win, and they host their conference championship game. Again, those are the rules, and I'm an underdog guy. I'm a fan of the little guy. I'm a fan of opening things up
I am
to
too.
more than just the blue bloods, if you will. So that intrigues me, but you know, if that group of 6 keeps getting pounded on year in and year out in the playoffs,
It's gonna end.
I think there's gonna be some real pushback saying, "Listen, this was nice.
It's
This was a
gonna
nice
end.
gesture on our part, but
let me
but
throw
the
this out
charity is
there,
over."
Stoner and Mark, is that early in the year I said, you know, the SEC and Big Ten, don't be surprised if they get together because of the projected losses and the financial restrictions. I'm withdrawing all that. It's all nonsense. They're firing people and paying. There's no fiscal issues in college sports for what I've seen in the last month. So anytime you hear that, just go like this.
Maybe
Stop.
there's just no fiscal
Stop it.
responsibility. There's issues in
Yeah,
responsibility.
but I mean, stop. Well, we don't have any money. And what? Oh my God.
No, but the thing with the group of 6 is this. You have a chance to get into the playoff. You have to go undefeated and pound people and be in the top 12. You can't just be with 2 losses in the group of 6 and get an automatic bid over teams like, you know, you got Miami there, you got Vandy there, you got BYU, you got Utah. Who else in that top 20? Like
Vanderbilt sitting there at 14.
Vandy? Yeah, I don't even like
look
Vandy.
at Texas at 16. You know, if they get an upset win over Texas A&M, how much of a bounce do they get? I don't think as much of a bounce as Michigan, but they would get something for sure to make things interesting.
I think Texas, because they got dog walked by Georgia, they're out. Now, if they played Georgia close and they beat A&M, I think that's what would have had a chance for them to get in as a 3-loss team. But the fact that they got pounded, that I think they're out.
It also feels like expansion is clearly on the way. The playoff committee and their partners agreeing to extend the deadline to have the conversation about growing the field in the coming year or years. So that clearly, to me, makes it sound like they're
So what's a
working behind the
comfortable
scenes
number to you,
to
Stone?
grow.
16?
Yeah, I'm good with 16. Listen, I'm working the World Cup this summer, and that is 48 teams. You know, that is essentially March Madness, and I like the chaos that it brings. I like the upset opportunities.
You can't play football every two days, though.
Correct.
Like soccer.
Understood. But I will say this, though, Mark. You know, it wasn't too long ago where we were saying, no. We can't be having major playoff type games almost immediately after the season ends. These bodies need to get going, and then they got to go play another one, and then another one, and another one.
And then there was actually a question
okay
about
right now,
academia, academics. The
Where are they
national
now?
championship game is going to be 2 weeks after some schools start classes.
Yeah.
I mean, so again,
Guess what? They figured it all out. They figured it all out, and they made it work. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to expand. I like 16. I think that seems like a safe, fair number, Mark. I think that's going to appease the big conferences, and I think that gives that group of 6 team still a spot. But then eventually they're going to come for that spot as well, right? Right? I mean, when a Texas or an Alabama or a Michigan is getting bumped for a Tulane, a Southern Miss, a South
Boise
Florida,
deserved a spot last year, but they had a first-round bye. They fixed that, so there's more fixing on the way.
Yes, as always. They're tinkering, and they've done some good tinkering as of late. There could be some major tinkering in the SEC in the coming weeks. Okay, so let's get to this Lane Kiffin. I feel like every hour when I look at my phone, I'm either getting a text or a story update or some type of information about Lane's going here, Lane's staying there, Lane's doing this, Lane's that. It's been a fascinating conversation, and as much as I thought Lane had kind of calmed himself down and calmed the drama and the circus around his life, man, Lane is still Lane, right, man? He's still got that DNA, and he can't. It's like he can't help himself. And there's one person who could solve all of this. Could solve where is Lane Kiffin going to be coaching next year? LSU, Florida, or Ole Miss? It's Lane. And if Lane wanted to solve it right now and say I'm staying at Ole Miss, this would have been done.
Yeah,
would have
been signed an extension. The
longer it lingers out there, and the fact that there's this. He doesn't want to use the term deadline, but the fact that it sounds like there's going to be some news right after the Egg Bowl. Just adds another layer of intrigue to this. And Coach, I know people want to wait till the season is over to hire and fire new coaches, but man, this has been going on for a long time, whether we knew it or not.
Right. Nick Saban, I think, made a comment that it's not a Lane Kiffin problem, it's a college football problem, but this problem has been around for a long time, and where coaches start getting those phone calls in November, and the way it works, Mark, is they actually have a headhunter call you. And it's happened to me a bunch of times where I'd get that phone call in October, November, and it's not the AD, because the AD and even the coach say, have you spoke to the athletic director at Florida? No, I haven't. Now I talk to, a third-party person. So that happens all the time. And then, the one with Jeremy Foley was the day the season was over. He was in Salt Lake City, and we met after the season. So and we were in the hunt for a BCS bowl, and that ripped my heart out to be able to walk away from Utah. At the time, had never been to it was a first non-Power 5 or whatever you call it, non-BCS school to make it to a BCS bowl game. Incredible group of players, but it was there was a few that was upset, but most of them were congratulations, coach, and go win a national championship type thing. To me, this is a whole different animal. This is a group that realistically, Mark, when you watch Ole Miss play, that team they put a couple games together, they're going to be in a national championship game. They really could do it. And I made a comment, and I saw the headlines that this might haunt, how do you do that? How do you walk into a team that's done everything they can? And then I know, once again, Coach Kiffin's got to do what he's got to do. But that might haunt, that I use that word. I mean, what happens to that team after that? And Ole Miss probably do the right thing and say you got to move on if you're going to leave, but you're not just leaving. You're playing that same team next year, that same school, and you imagine the exodus of players that would leave. Also, if this happens, he's going to LSU. All the best players from Ole Miss, where they're going to go? LSU. A new coach comes into Ole Miss, and Ole Miss that gave Coach Kiffin this job, and all of a sudden they're decimated, So it's a tough deal. And he's a really good coach. He had a great year. I like the guy. I've spent time talking to him. Obviously, he's a hell of an offensive coach. But this is uncharted waters, not because of the calendar, because that's always been there, just that you have someone that's in the hunt for a national title that could walk away. And that's what's the uncharted water piece.
Yeah, like you said, Coach, they're a lock to go into the playoff. I mean, you have your coach about to dip. Like, how do you go into the team meeting?
Potentially dip, but the conversations are out there, right?
I mean, Lane is Lane. He could potentially be flirting with the opposition, being like, yeah, I'm going to come to Florida. Yeah, I'm going to come to LSU. And then be like, you know what? No, I'm going to stay here at Ole Miss. Like, who knows? Lane's a wild card of wild cards, man. Great coach, but it's just a lot to deal with, man. I can't imagine being Trinidad Chambliss or Kawan Lacey, your RB1, and just knowing I'm in a fight to go to the college football playoff to do what we've been working for. And my head coach, our leader, is out here, family, on recruiting trips to Gainesville and to Baton Rouge. Like, what are we doing? But
so
hey,
Mark,
every man has to make the best decision for themselves. And shoot,
I'll ask
I'm not here
both
to
of you.
judge.
I'll ask both of you, Mark. I'll start with you. How does it end right now? The way the tea leaves that you're reading, how do you think it ends for Lane Kiffin?
He's in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge,
I don't
okay.
like Baton Rouge.
All right.
I don't
Coach?
like LSU either.
Really?
Coach, what do you
That's kind
think?
of what I'm hearing too. But
Yeah.
I heard it was Florida. That was before LSU opened. Listen, LSU is a program who is not playing. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at whoever they want and try and get them there. You got the governor. He knows where all the money in the state is. He's got all the head honchos in the state ponying up. And LSU wants to get back to being at the top of college football, and they not going to hold nothing back in order to do that. And so they're going to give everything they got, and they doing it. They giving everything they got, and I think Lane ends up in Bayou Bengal.
I'm going to say this. I don't think it has anything to do with money. I think it has to do with winning. I think right now he's putting together.
He's winning at Ole Miss.
But, I mean, it's going to – now is his chance to go. And it's supposed to be, was it the $20.5 million or whatever, but they say it's nonsense. There's so much of the same stuff going on with the name and likeness that I think he's just negotiating the most expensive roster for the next 5, 6, 7 years. That's
Resources.
Okay, so you make one school offers you 14, you get offered 13. Okay, okay. That just means more to charity and more to your children. That's fine. But I think I know Lane well enough that this is not about that. This is about winning the national title. What's going to put him in the best position to win that?
It's the thing that's missing.
Only he can figure that out.
Right? 2 quick thoughts on that. Don't mess with Happy, right? And it really does feel like he's happy in Oxford, right? The family seems settled.
He can't lose in Oxford. He's taking care of him.
Right. And
That's why I think he stays.
But you said he can't lose. I think he is afforded more losses in Oxford than he would be in Gainesville.
No, I mean, like, he
or
can't
Baton
lose
Rouge.
like he's
no,
like,
I understand
not
that.
like lose football games.
But I'm talking wins and losses.
Yeah.
I think the heat is always going to be hotter.
Oh, the leash is shorter at LSU for sure.
The leash is shorter. The seat is hotter in Gainesville and Baton Rouge than it is in Oxford, right? I think his family's really settled and content there. And if Lane really is a different Lane right now, then it seems like Oxford is the logical step. And here's another thought. And you know me and my closet professional wrestling fandom, right? This is like classic staging for like a WrestleMania, right? There's just nothing but curveballs over here, and I'm sending my family to Baton Rouge. Oh, that must mean he's going to Baton Rouge. And my family's going to go look at Florida. Oh, everybody. He's like misdirecting everybody.
And he's got a
away from
game
where.
and he's got a team to get ready to get for the
Correct,
for
coach.
the
But he's
playoff.
not going. He didn't go to those 2 places. I think he's sending misdirections everywhere, and he's getting that full confirmation of what he wants, whether it's resources, assistant coaches, facilities at Ole Miss, to set himself up for a hotty-toddy hardcore run.
I told you, Stoner, he could easily be messing with the ops.
Yeah,
throwing them off their game.
I kind of like that.
Like, he could easily be like, you know what, LSU, I love you.
can't
Florida,
believe that.
I love you.
I mean,
you
my
know what,
gosh.
I'm staying here.
He's got a rivalry game in 2 days.
Yeah,
Lane Kiffin
Egg Bowl,
is the
baby.
wild card. He is the
Egg
joker,
Bowl.
the big joker in the card deck. You don't know what he going to do. He going to pull that card out. You don't know what it's going to be.
And once that card is played, everything's going to start falling in place. Already, some things have already, right? We got a new head coach at Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma
leaving Texas,
State.
North Texas as well. So that's it.
Who's another team in the playoff hunt?
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. So 4 editions of the college football playoff rankings are in the books. 1 through 5 remains the same. Oregon up to 6. Ole Miss down 1 to number 7. Oklahoma firm at 8. Notre Dame firm at 9. Bama firm at 10. They are the last team in. The full edition, the real genuine, the OG edition of the Triple Option presented by Wendy's, coming your way tomorrow on YouTube and wherever it is you can find your podcasts.